Okay, first off, please excuse my voice. I just want to share some auction purchases I made just earlier this evening. This video will be released probably in a couple days. My run of videos ends on the 20th. Today is currently the 18th. So this will probably be uploaded the 21st or 22nd. It won't be my end of the month update, but it will be within those videos. So anyways, here is the auction I was looking at. This is all the stuff I bidded on and got outbidded on and obviously didn't get. There's a few items here I did get. I spent like $1,600, a little more than I wanted to, but everything will hopefully work out in the end. There is some value with the stuff here. First off, we'll review and go over everything I did win. First off, this Husqvarna tractor. Here it is right here. Overall, a decent looking machine. The deck does need paint. I got it for $640. So, really, that's almost retail. But the plan is to hold on to it till the spring and sell it then. Nice thing with this, it's got a new engine in it. Much different than what this machine would have came with from the factory. We'll just go through some of the pictures. Let's see if we can enlarge it. There we go. That Bolin's in the background I will get to eventually. You won't believe how many hours it actually has on it. So anyways, here it is. We'll show a few of the pictures. Don't want to spend too much time looking through auction stuff. So as you can see, the deck does need work, but the casings all look decent on this machine. This should be a second gen steering machine as well. The deck is solid. It's just crispy. It's paint flaking. So I will do my typical repaint of the deck and go from there. There's some marks right there on the fender. I'm hoping it's just dirt and grime. Like I said, the engine was replaced. I don't know if the original engine blew up or what the deal is. We'll go back one more. Just want to double check something. Yeah, it's the cable. Cable engagement deck. This is what I want to double check. So it is new. So there's the newer engine in it. There is a date on the oil filter. That's potentially when the engine was put in. But that is definitely a newer engine. Unfortunately, the battery was dead, so I could not start it. The key was left on. But all the stuff in this section of the auction is supposed to fully function. And basically with like cleaning carburetor, stuff like that. Let's go on to the next item I won. This mower deck here, I won this for $25. I'm only looking at it for the spindles. It's a 46-inch AYP deck. For that price, I should be able to, if I can't use the spindles on another project, be able to resell this deck and get more than that back for it. These decks are normally rotted out completely, but it is an older style deck, and I'm hoping to use the spindles on another one I do currently have. It's just a complete whim. I did not look at this in the preview. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Really, there's no need to see any other pictures. Next item I won. Again, we'll get to the red ones last. I couldn't let this go. I know. Honda 3810. I got this for $125. Really, for 3810, the last one I bought through the same auction company was a lot more. It's complete minus the seat. It even has a battery in it. The casings all look decent on it. It has the chute cover on the deck, which is a rarity. I wish some of these other machines in the backgrounds were for sale, but when I spoke to the owner, a lot of them were pretty well trashed out, and they weren't worth selling in the auction. for someone like me, they'd be worth it for me to buy them, but he didn't want to waste time by selling them. This one is an as-is machine, so, but like I said, it is complete minus the seat. I believe they may have put the seat on another machine, and since a machine that's not a Honda does have a Honda seat. So, but there's the engine. So these engines are fairly reliable for the most part, but if it turns out to be just a parts machine, I should be able to get back everything I have invested in this, in the parts that it does have, since these machines are getting harder and harder to come by. We'll go over this item next. This is just a rototiller. There's another rototiller in the auction I was looking at, but you got outbid on this one, or outbid on that one, but I won this one here. It's another as-is item, but it looks decent, so it should be okay. I just noticed it's missing the side cover. That might be an issue there. I did not notice it missing the side cover before, but it does have all the pulleys. Everything does appear to be there, which is a good thing. So I wish I would have noticed that, but we can possibly make up something to cover that up, or who knows, it might be with the rototiller. I don't know. It's got Briggs Classic on it, and that's all the pictures of that one. Again, I only paid for a tiller $100, so it's not the end of the world on the rototiller. Okay, this right here is a palette of engines. There's a couple engines in here I'm most interested in, mainly this Honda right here. Then there's a big Kohler, which I'll show in a second, right here. It does turn, it does seem to have compression. And then there's a Kohler bucket engine right here. If it runs, I do have a plan for it. But those engines there, the most common thing that happens, the bolts come loose, comes up and hits the flywheel, and it cracks the case. But I believe it is complete with starter. This engine right here is also mostly complete. It looks like it may have been on fire, but I think it's just a rust. But it is complete with starter, electrical, coil, flywheel, stuff like that, valuable parts. I am holding on to more and more flywheels lately as well, after finding out what they are truly worth here in Canada. Let's go last row. 2 rototillers. I paid more for one than the other. This one I paid $145. It is complete. I was able to turn these over. They seem to be in decent shape. The pumps are not completely blown apart on them, so they should be good to go. This one being a Briggs should have some value to it, as long as the pumps aren't completely wasted. The plan is to get both tillers running and sold sooner rather than later, like this year, so I don't have to worry about winterizing them. This is the other tiller, more of a generic knockoff tiller sort of thing. I think it's labeled, it's Kohler engine, so it's a decent engine. Like I said, these did turn over and have compression, no binding, so they should be in decent shape. I think I was bidding against one other person on both of them, but if I was getting a pressure washer, I wanted to get both, not just one. And I paid $180 for this one here. So again, not bad. They should sell as long as they run and function for anywhere from $400 to $500 in my market. Now that's everything I won. Let's look at everything I watched and did not win. First off, this Ford tractor. I was really wanting this. I bid $900 was my max bid on it. So I was getting up pretty high with the other stuff I did want. It ended up going over $1,500. It does have a lot of hours. I think it had like over 1,500 hours, but it is a 3-cylinder diesel. The casings are pretty bad on it. They would have to be replaced. No implements. Overall, it's all there, but it's not in overly good condition, unfortunately. That's the worst of them right there. The two machines I did end up getting, the casings are in really good condition on them, from what I can see for the most part. There's the hours, 1,965.5 hours. So yeah. Again, this one here had a dead battery at the auction, so I could not start it. I don't know if other people were able to get started and hear it run or not, but I was unable to. Okay, so I'll take a drink. This right here, I was kind of interested in this, but it's pretty rough. It's an Aaron's. I've had one of these in the past. I bought from the same auction company, but one of their main locations. The one I had was near mint, other than it did not have reverse. The reverse would not work on it. So, and it was a lot newer than this one here, but pretty much the same overall design. Again, it was nice, but it was rough. That's mainly the reason why I did not really go for it. Or if I would have, I wanted it for cheap. And once it got over $100, I wasn't as interested in it. It did turn over, it did have compression, but it would need a lot of cleanup to make it worth much of anything. And again, I didn't see it run. Don't know if it drove, stuff like that. So, and all this stuff had been sitting outside for a while. So, a lot of the nicer stuff was in the building and in lockup. This one, my max bid was 100. I think it went for 125 or more, maybe 150. Next item, the Boland's tractor. It's actually pretty amazing how many hours this thing has. My max bid was $230. I think it went for 250, maybe a bit more. Overall, a decent looking machine. I believe all 4 casings were good on this. I was able to actually turn it over with the battery at the auction. It did have a charge. I did not try starting it. I just wanted to see if it would turn and have compression. Overall, like I said, it's a decent looking machine, but the hours really scared me away, and in my opinion, would hurt its resale value for me to resell it. $2,646.5 hours. Again, these hour meters are Keon hour meters, so it's hard to say if that is 100% accurate or somebody really left the key on for a long time. But it's an opposed twin. It's hard to say what's actually been done to it over the years. So here's the engine. It's got a full-size battery in it, like the Honda style batteries that fit in lawn tractors. Really nice. But it's a cast iron opposed twin, so it's not really a desirable engine. They're very heavy. They're not very efficient. The aluminum ones are so much better. Also, someone had added a fuel cutoff right there, which isn't necessary with a fuel pump machine, except for these, they kind of yes and no. But the tank on these are much lower than everything else. Next item, I did not win, which I'm kind of upset about. This rototiller right here, I bid it up to $400. It's a DR, but it's a knockoff DR. I'm kind of upset about this one. I wish I would have really got this one versus the other one. It was definitely a nice looking little tiller, and we could have definitely used it quite a bit around here. Not saying the one I did get won't work. I'm hoping it will, but again, I didn't pay much of anything for it, so it should be okay. This here, I just put a bid on this of $30. It's an as-is mower, so it was interesting. Nice big bagger on it. If I would have got it, I would have got it, but if I obviously I didn't, so not a big deal. But it is kind of rough, so it's hard to say what it would have actually went for and what it would actually be worth in the resale market. So there's a few more items. No generators this time. Really, generators, I don't need any any generators or anything like that. This here, I did not bid on it, but it went really high. It was not being bid on at all at first, but it went extremely high. It went almost $1,000. It's a 50-inch cut. It's a professional grade machine. What brand was it? It's a Gravely ProMaster. It was kind of cool. Really, for me, I just want it for a flip. It did turn. It did have compression. But, as you can see, all the casings are up in the auction. The back two were flat on the preview. So, it's got issues with the casings. Probably need them replaced. It had casters. I've just recently did casters on another machine. They're not cheap. So, I'm kind of happy I didn't get this, but I think it would have been something cool to work on and something different. And this here is a Honda Track snowblower. It didn't go for much of anything, but I was already at my max, so I didn't really give it much more of a thought. I was just watching it, see what it would go for. It was interesting. I don't think I put a bid on it. No, I did not. So I think that was it. Nope, two more items. This here is very similar to a more Terrell from Terrell Fixes All got recently, but this one's labeled as a Bohlins. It was kind of cool, antique. It didn't go for much of anything. It only went for about 125. The engine on it obviously is not the original. That will actually hurt it in the collector's market unless someone has an original engine for it. Again, it's kind of cool, but it was another as-is machine, I believe. Actually, no, it was not as-is, but it was untested. So, and this is the last item right here. Big Cub Cadet 3000 series. I kind of wanted this one as a parts machine, or to use my other Cub Cadet as a parts machine to fix this one here. It ended up going for over $300, which was a bit out of my range for wanting to buy something like this. If I wanted to get it, I was waiting it for about 2 or 3 days for $50. I really only wanted to go, I think I put a maximum of 150, maybe 200 on it. All the casings look decent. It is missing one taillight, which isn't a huge deal. But the engine is apart, as you can see right there. The valve cover is off. The rockers are still there. Push rods are still there. These have hydraulic lifters. So all that's still there, but it's apart. Why is it apart? And that's the fuel pump side as well. So did it drop a lifter? Or sorry, did it drop, a lifter? Or did it just wreck the fuel pump? Also, there was no hours mentioned on this one either. And these are hydraulic everything, and they use a vacuum engagement for the deck, which has been bypassed. I noticed in a later picture. I'll try to go back to it. Right here, you can see a secondary rod's been added. That's not factory. Going up to a handle right here. That's not factory. So that's actually operating the deck. Since, like I said, these use a vacuum cylinder that takes vacuum off the engine to function, to fire the deck. So there's definitely something going on with that system there. And most likely It's on titanium parts, so it's not worth fixing. I went 185 on this. I think it went for over 300. Like I said, I did want this machine, but it would probably sit around for a little while. I'd cover the engine, but until I was able to get to it and get my other machine out, so I let it go. I didn't bother with it. Stuff went really high at this auction. This is the place I used to get all my parts from. I'd get a lot of good used parts from as well. So decent place. The owner was retiring. That's why they're closed up. So that's the story, and this is what I did end up all purchasing. Again, everything will get individual videos, and everything will most likely be in my end of the month video, which will probably be coming out after this video. So again, sorry about my voice, and that's pretty much it. So talk to them later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.